This is a tale of two osteras. Incidentally, I should mention that in what follows, I'm going to be speaking mostly in Which. That's my native language, and I speak it fluently, and so I will be speaking in Which. I realize that others of you may be more fluent in other dialects of pagan. I will do what I can to translate as I go. In any event, an important principle of ritual, in fact, one could say it's an important principle of art generally, is that the specific is more universal than the general. Counterintuitive, but there it is. The specific is more universal than the general. The specific is more universal than the general. So I'll be using a lot of specific examples in this and what follows. And you're pagans, you're smart, you will more than likely be able to apply these particular specifics to your own specific situation. Creative improvisation is the name of the game. So, A Tale of Two Osteras. A number of years ago, the vernal equinox rolled around. I was invited to a ritual at the local pagan community center. I love living in Afghanistan. We do have our own pagan community center. What a place. What a place. So one of the local Wiccan churches was having a spring equinox ritual. They invited me to it. So it was more or less the standard, hello, central casting, could you send over a standard Wiccan ritual? That's more or less what it was. You can probably, all of you, rattle it off pretty much in your sleep. You cast the circle you call the quarters. Invoke the god, invoke the goddess. Have an energy raising, have the great rite. You dismiss the god, dismiss the goddess, dismiss the quarters, dismiss the circles. There we were. So it was fun, it was very social. Invocations of goddess and god notwithstanding, if there was anything sacred going on there, I sure didn't see or feel any of it. Your standard Wiccan ritual. A week or two later, it just happened to be Holy Week, and I'm a strong believer that we need to put on our visiting clothes and get out of the pagan ghetto every now and then. So I went down to the local Episcopal cathedral for I think it was a Maundy service, Maundy Thursday service. I don't remember specifically which holiday it was. Holidays, Maundy Thursday a holiday? I don't know. Anyway, so I went down to the cathedral. It's a beautiful, beautiful building. It's monumental but intimate at the same time. And there is a terrific music program there. They really know their liturgics there. There are also lots of cute guys to look at, which is always nice when the ritual gets boring. So I went down there and we were singing a hymn. Now, I should mention that in the meantime, I had been reading a book about a Spanish Counter-Reformation painter named Francisco de Zurbarán, and I was particularly taken with a painting of his called Agnus Dei, the Lamb of God. Title notwithstanding, what this painting is, and I think the thing that originally drew me to this painting was the fact that it was not overtly religious. There were no angels or halos or anything of that sort. Agnus Dei, Lamb of God. Title notwithstanding, it actually is not a lamb, but looks like a young but mature ram. He's got nice scimitar horns, beautiful looking ram. They're laying, feet trussed, legs trussed, laying on a marble slab. That's it. The sacrifice ready and waiting. And when I saw that, I thought, this is the kind of Christianity that I can understand. So, I'm in St. Mark's Cathedral, and we're singing a hymn. It might have been about sacrifice, it might not, I can't remember. And so we finish the hymn, and I look up, and there he is. I don't know how many of you have had visionary experiences. I've had my share. My guess is that probably most of us have. It seems to be a pretty common human occurrence. It just seems to be one of the ways that our brains interact with the world. But I looked up, and there he was, sitting on the altar, cross-legged, just like in the pictures, and was out to here, sexy as hell, grinning like a jack-o'-lantern, and he's looking right at me. Didn't say anything, didn't need to say anything. Qurban, qurban. A sacrifice is a sacrifice. Just being there was enough. So when the rest of the congregation did their God magic, I did mine too. I'd always wondered how the witches dealt with things when they had to go to church back in the old days. I think this is how they did it. So, while they did their God magic, I did mine. So for the first time in decades, when everybody else went up to receive the body and blood of their God, I went up to receive the body and blood of mine. Qurban, qurban, a sacrifice is a sacrifice. Now, I don't usually approve of that kind of thing, of interfering with other people's rituals. I think it violates the laws of hospitality, and that when we go to other people's worship spaces, we need to be respectful. But given that situation, I realized that here I was in a Christian place of worship, that not only did I have the visionary experience in the Christian place of worship and not at the pagan ritual, but that the imagery, that the underlying basis of the visionary experience was all based, what's more pagan than a sacrifice? The Christians are more pagan than the pagans are. Something has gone wrong. We need to start looking, and we need to do some serious thought work here. When you look at the structure of the Episcopal liturgy, you can see that it serves as an ever-narrowing and ever-intensifying focus. You come in, they do the initial opening stuff, then they have a reading from the Hebrew Scriptures, they have a reading from the epistles, they have a reading from the Gospel, and then they have the Eucharistic liturgy. Never expected you'd be hearing about these kinds of things in a class on pagan ritual, did you? So, you go in, you hear, there's one focus. The focus, of course, is Christ. And that's what everything refers to. Good ritual is about one thing. It doesn't matter what the thing is. Well, actually, it probably does matter what the thing is, but the very best ritual always has the single focus. So, they start with the reading from the Hebrew Scriptures, which talks about Christ only symbolically. It talks about him elusively. You have the epistle readings, which talks about Christ, which interprets who Christ is and what his relationship is with the listener. And then you have a reading from the Gospels in which you hear the actual words of Christ himself. And then you have the Eucharistic liturgy, which is an enactment, a symbolic enactment, which is a sacrifice, a symbolic sacrifice to be sure, but a sacrifice nonetheless. And there you have actual personal contact with the God. I've been to a few pagan rituals that have this elegant and ever increasingly focused structure, but not very many. And it is something that we need to aspire to. So the question is, how do we get there? Come with me.